Once there, everything comes through. I've heard of such a dreamy place. Do you think my broken wings will heal? Hope so, 'cause I can't fly well. I wonder if this rain will stop one day. Someone's been crying all along. No worries, there's only one road, so I can't get lost. All I have to do is walk. Placed by the name of heaven, the promised land. Everyone is waiting in a very long line. Placed by the name of heaven, there's a comfort in that. I don't hesitate, just be guided. I wonder how far I have come, and what have I ever done? Alright, well, I'm sure I'll be there soon. All I have to do is walk. Placed by the name of heaven, the promised land. I wonder what was waiting for me. Placed by the name of heaven, there's a comfort in that. I don't hesitate, just be guided. I haven't talked to my heart for a long time. When did I stop flying? Is it a wings that Placed by the name of heaven, the promised land. Can I find myself again in that life? Placed by the name of heaven, there's a comfort in that. Freedom in my hands means that I can get by the name of heaven. Wings, I'm sorry, I may sacrifice, but I should have known the name of heaven. I can get out of line now. Freedom in my hands means that I can get more freedom in my hands means that I can get
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Addon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Eclipse Judgment, the final episode. Yes, the final episode. This one's been a longer one, actually. 54 pages in, and yes, here we are. This is Eclipse Judgment. Now if I hit the magic button right here, you can kind of see how everything expanded out for a little bit. The big one we need to do today is advancement in the GM section. That's really it. That's all I really need to do. I guess I actually completely forgot about these. I was having some issues last night. It was just Life was just not going too hot last night. There were just some issues. I did end up adding this little note here, unless stated otherwise. All fractions are rounded up. Generally speaking, that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. Always kind of say that somewhere. The big thing of what I ended up doing a little bit more was added some images, obviously, kind of patched some things up. More novel AI stuff. I like novel AI. I think it works pretty well. I had to fight for some of these. Like, some of them actually turned out relatively well, but you can still see some of the hands get fucked up quite a bit. That's one thing I've noticed a lot with novel AI, is that hands get a little bit fucky-wucky unless you're, like, really precise with them. This was just funny, and I needed to put this in here somewhere. So, that's where that is. This turn, I have no fucking idea where this came from. But this image hit really fucking hard, so I had to keep it in. No, you're not. No, no, you're not. No, no. Can't say the N-word. You're literally having Jeff Bezos kill my stream now, Ironside. Why are you doing this to me? But yes, we got this, some basic images all over. I try to keep everything relatively consistent. The only major change that kind of popped up around here was I cleaned up some bits in combat. Novel AI does do well when you type in just the term monster, so I'm happy with that. I think it's pretty decent. Now, the big thing what we need to do today is, as you can kind of see, we went through partial deviations. This was a pain in the ass to set up because each of these are technically individual images. What I should do is go into paint.net or something similar to that and arrange them the way I want, but that's for smart people, and I'm a fucking idiot. So, today is, though, advancement. Yes, probably one of the more complicated aspects of the game. Simply, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to keep it for dead last. But as you can kind of see here, we actually have a few ways of, increasing our experience. And we need to actually, first things first, determine what experience gains are per level. Then we need to go into, like, what training experience looks like, what cultivating experience, there's what breakthroughs look like. And then here are all of your transformations. Transformations are fairly important in this game. It was pretty much stated. First people ever. That is incorrect, actually, Ironside. There has been other people to play my game IRL, otherwise known as Blood, Coin, and Steel, when it was still a Song of Ice and Fire role-playing 2nd edition. People played that real in person, and they say they'd really like it. Go me, gamer hours. And people are threatening me to attempt to rewrite good old Shadowrun again. People want me to attempt to fix Shadowrun. I don't know why. How would you ever rewrite Shadowrun, and why would you want to? Fun fact, way back in the day, otherwise known as like last year, welcome to Anthrodesis Dissonance. Anthrodesis Dissonance was originally called Shadowrun Black Mohawk, and it was my attempt at rewriting almost the entirety of Shadowrun, actually. If you really actually look at some of the details of what I did in here, it's very Shadowrun in almost all its ways, to the point where it's a little bit nuts. I had to change all of that because shit was not working. It was not working. Like, I think one of the things is, it's very easy. It is very, very easy to say fix Shadowrun. Like, it's really easy to say that. Like, but the problem is, let's like, okay, to fix the D6 bloat. Okay, well, then you got to fix combat. Then you got to fix magic. Then you got to fix attributes. Then you got to fix hacking. Then you got to fix then you got to fix attributes. Then you got to fix characters. It's like, it's this cascading effect of you have to try to fix a little bit of everything. Because that's I think the major issue with even attempting to do anything with Shadowrun is you can't just do one thing. You need to do everything. You need to fix one thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, and then another, and then another. Whole teams can't. Yeah, exactly. Whole teams can't do that. Like my original intent with Black Mohawk was, hey gamers, I'm gonna use exactly what people say is real Shadowrun. I just want to break Shadowrun down to its base components and effectively write Shadowrun OSR. And I asked the people, what do you want Shadowrun to look like? And I'll give you a hint. People who play fucking Shadowrun don't know what they want from Shadowrun. But it just does not work. And you just need to sit back and just say, okay, what do you want? What do you need? And that was like the big thing that happened with Anthrodesis Dissonance, which was I ended up kind of going my own way to do what I wanted with it, and eventually it worked. But it was like, if you look at the kind of the detox video on that, is like, this is a fucking mess because what it was. And trust me, there was a lot of people who said that, but there were a lot of people being like, I want more cyberpunk, I want more magic, I want more this. Well, you need to keep 4th edition magic, but you need to have 5th edition cybernetics, but you need fucking 3rd edition races, but you also need humans to be better than everybody else. But it's like, oh my god, shut up, what the fuck you people want? Well, in my game, we house ruled 95% of the game. I mean, you should just do that. I mean, like, what do you fucking mean? What do you fuckers want? It's copying the video game may not be the worst idea ever, honestly. It's like, it's one of those issues, and I can do this now because I've officially marked my stream as Zatzidons. I can do this now. It's kind of like one of the reasons, like, I find Exalted is my white whale. And I designate Exalted very very heavily as my white whale, because you can't, like, I have a dream to make Exalted fun. That's the dream. I love Exalted. I think Exalted's a really fucking cool setting. But here's a problem. This is a very important problem with Exalted. Technically, there's 3 Exalteds. There's Anime Exalted. There's, you know, I guess you call it Sandalpunk Exalted. Then there's like some like weird Magitech bullshit Exalted. And like the issue is each one of them compete for page space and like what they want. People will unironically say use Exalted for like big special attack moves. It looks like, shut the fuck up. No, never use Exalted for high powered things, because Exalted's very precise. And I'll give you the thing with like what my major issue with Exalted will always be. And the thing that I have on multiple occasions gone and attempted and have always ran to a brick fucking wall about, and it's charms. Charms are the most fucking horrific thing to deal with. That's the issue. And because charms really represent the largest issue with Exalted. Because on one hand, you have, in lore anyway, you know, it's charms are superpowers. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Charms are superpowers. However, in game, charms are feats. In character, charms are mandatory. But the issue is, this is another big issue. In lore, they are both, charms are specific. There is actually a noted part of the setting in which every charm is actually like a thing. People know you're using like solar beam ray or whatever. People know that. They can say, oh wait, he's using solar beam ray. He's using that charm. But also in lore, they say charms are unique. That's the issue. They say charms are super unique because, like, oh well, this is the super legendary awesome charm. It's schizophrenic, and like this is the issue. Like this is like a major issue when it comes to Exalted in general for me. It's just like I would love there to be an option to just sit down and say, this is Exalted. This is your charm. This is how to do the powers. This is how to do this. Like, it's very difficult to find, like, a good one. And people are like, well, just use Godbound. Shut the fuck up with Godbound. I don't like Godbound very much. Because it's a weird OSR. It's OSR Exalted. Not great. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, it's... Exalted is one of those ones. Like, I would consider things like Shadowrun. Yeah, like Shadowrun and like verse, like, shooting up close, shooting far away, shooting while jumping, shooting someone in the head, shooting someone on the foot, all different charms. Yeah, and that's the issue. Because it's not, hey, I'm an expert super archer who can like just fucking hit you from anywhere. It's, oh, this is God cock destroying arrow. But you need to get, God destroying foot shot or God destroying hand shot first before you can get cock destroying arrow. And it's like, in lore, that's both correct and incorrect. It's horrific. And I get it, it's because storyteller and you needed to fight, and it's like, if you remove the charms... Here's the thing, if you remove the charms, 90% of the game stops working. Like, it's one of the... It's like, it's such a delicate thing to, like, pick apart. And you're like, please don't break it. Yeah, it's like, all right, let's, like, we got it. And then you pick apart one piece. Like, okay, you're playing fucking Jenga. It's awful. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Owie zowie, my lymph nodes. Okay, so, Delusions of Grandeur, Steps Toward Heaven Advancement as I fucking rant about Exalted. Speaking about games like Exalted, we're almost done. So, as the actually, let's see, the Path of a Cultivator. Path of a Cultivator is a journey of growth and progress. Stagnation is death to a cult. Stagnation is death. As the Jia increase their power. As Jia increase their powers and abilities, they will develop new techniques, mystic arts, personal resolve, and even learn to transform themselves into stronger forms. These steps of cultivation are referred to as levels. There are a total of 10 levels in Eclipse Judgment. There are a total of 10 levels in Judgment, each being a significant step in in the Gia's progress to power. In power, inability to defeat the. Yep, the Gia's progress and ability to defeat the devil. Did it do? Stretch. Okay, let's. Give me 1 second. Oh god, that's not how my back's supposed to go. That's bad. Owie, zowie, my lymph nodes. See you in a month for Catboy. Yes, we will do Catboys. Yeah, I said we will do Catboys and my stream nearly died. Good job, Ironside. Yes. I will most likely send you that right at the end of November. If only, here's the thing, I will be sending that to you in November. At the end of November, simply because, you know, that's when I'm going to be getting back. It's just easier that way. So let's see. The steps of cultivation are referred to as levels. The Eclipse Judgment, each being a significant Zeus progress. Zeus progress in the cultivation synonym. Let's see. The steps of cultivation are referred to as levels in total Eclipse Judgment, each being a significant. Chi, Gromit. We need to cultivate our chi. Let's see. And let's So now we get to do the fun part, otherwise known as let's find what some numbers are. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Level 3. You know what I can do though? Let's go to Eclipse Judgment. Who's ready for spreadsheet autism? No, I don't. Okay, so we need to zoom into 150%, and we need to do level 1. Understand what I want to do? Yes. Do. Total level, and then we're going to do chi amount. We'll do chi increase. We'll do chi increase. Actually, we'll do chi amount. Now, there's a few ways that I've been thinking about doing this, whether like giving you something or like you have the option to choose between. What I've been debating on doing. Option A. We do technique point. It'd be chi amount, technique points into transformation. So it would be like we go over, back up. So this would be our basic kind of like chi amount that you actually have to work with. You're not going to have like a super large amount of chi. That's going to be the. What I was actually know if we do. Put this right here, and then we just like attributes. Now, option A is this method. Option B is we do this, and then we pretty much just hand them. Then we hand you, like, you can either get a decent chunk of technique points, or you can get a decent chunk of attribute points. I'm leaning toward this method, kind of the more simple way of doing it, but we'll for the sake of completeness, just to double check to make sure everything is the way that it should be. Give me that transformation hero. I believe it was every odd level, so transformation would be 3, 6, and 3. Because it would be every odd level, so it would be 3 needs to it, you get 1 at 5, and then you get 1 at 7. Is that how I chose to do it? Transformation. Double. Transformation grants the tools discussed above. Nope. Not actually say like. Or it's just. Oh geez, I don't think I stated it. So I need to go to Miro. Yeah, you guys think I know what I'm doing. Look at these fools. Look at these fools as they believe in me. So we want to do what did I end up saying there? So this would be 4 and 6. You would lock these. So you need to do the idea would be more breakthrough here, breakthrough here. You would unlock them. You do the breakthrough, you hit it. And every odd level requires a breakthrough. Every odd level, so you need a breakthrough to get to you pretty much need a breakthrough to get past level 3. You need a breakthrough to get past level 5. You need a breakthrough to get past level 7, and you need a breakthrough to get past level 9. So this would be how the idea. So you can level up to max level 3, but unless you do a breakthrough, you're not getting to level 4. Okay, so that's fine. So this is where you get your power transformation. This is where you get your Shin transformation. And yeah, that you get your Shin at 6. Which Shin, mind you, is like your Shin transformation is very good. It's just very dangerous. So you get your power, you get your Shin, and then you get your standard. You don't need to do your breakthrough because this is your formation. And the basic idea would be you start with 50 technique points, and then you end up with something maybe along the line of life. We do like 5 across the board. We do 5 across the board. That's going to be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95. Maybe we do something along. No, you have to do your mortal breakthrough, your hero breakthrough, your savior breakthrough, and finally your divine breakthrough. Means you gotta go to your full power level. Gotta power up to the very limit. So let's For backgrounds, how many attributes you get? You get a total of 3 attributes spread around. So if you end up with like 3, then we do something like 5, 2. Actually, you get 5, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 5, 2. You get something like this. So you'd end up with 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 natural attributes spread around, which doesn't seem like that's a very big, large amount, but you got to remember, this allows you to augment dice up and down, which is pretty fucking good. So if we do something like that, 55, 60, 65, 70, 70, you end up with 75 basic technique points, which you're going to get about 25 just kind of naturally over time. But you're also going to get drip fed a few attribute points, unless we do. The other method I have is you can either get 4 technique points or one attribute point as a choice. It's like, okay, you've hit level 2. You can get 4 technique points or you get an attribute. I can actually even fucking make it like 5 technique points, or you can get attribute points. Is there anything else I can expend this on? Nah. Because I want to be the idea. Like, here's the thing. This, like, your 5, like, technique points may not seem like 5 technique points, that's nothing. This is more a refinement of certain abilities. What I want you to be able to do is pick up new techniques and pick up new things naturally through gameplay. So this isn't 5 technique points, this is 5 technique points allowing you to edit any known ability you have, change things up, buy off problems, and shit like that. That's kind of the idea. So you can be like, oh hey, I have a really bad, I have a bad miracle. I can spend some, I can take effectively a little bit and convert it into something maybe a little bit cosmetic or even good at one point. It's like I'm refining my abilities a little bit, so it's a little bit less. Or we'd give them a little bit more natural. Do we let them be natural, or do we let them... I'm feeling this a little bit more. I'm feeling this for one very particular, because you get a little bit more choice in how you want to develop yourself, especially if you take some like really shitty ones at level. You can then spend it a little bit easier to get the level 2, and then you're ready to do mortal breakthrough. Okay. Do this. Something like this. Here, do this. Here. The name. Boy, hit the wrong fucking number. I do. There we go. I think this looks nice. We get like a basic understanding of what's going on. Totally, what's going to be actually. I'm going to say level here. Every time. Every time. Every time a... I can fucking spell today. Every time a... Yeah. add something very important. And we're going. This is a fairly important idea. Because we want because we have one very important thing. So we have experience. Awesome. We have 0 in the idea of there, and you can vent. Let's say you have 108 karma. You can vent up to 108 karma, and you can train up to a certain amount. Pretty much what I'm going to do is, like, you can do a training. You can get training up to 10 times your current level. So it's like you can train 10 XP at level 1. It's not a lot, but it's something. We can do it linearly, or we can do it maybe quadratic. If we do something like this, let's say even like 20, 30. We do something like this. Technically, to get from level 1 to level 2 is 20 experience. Get to level 2 to level 3 is 30 experience. This is all going to be useful. So if we just do... It's 540 experience points in total. Maybe we do... See, if we do it exponentially, so it would be something like 20. So it would be 20... into 30 into 40 into 50, so it'd be 30, it'd be 120 into 60 into 70 into 80 into 90, so that would be 90 plus the 330 plus 90, fucking 420, blaze it. And then we do end up with 520, so you'd end up with 1940. I'm leaning towards something like something very tight, very nice, very understand. Simply because that's... Actually, you know what we can do? Each breakthrough level, we're going to double it, then we're going to increase it by 10. Then we're going... So it's going to be 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, and then we bunk it up to 150. So it's kind of like this exponential growth, but little growth between to get like 4 to 5. So you always can get to your... So it's going to get from level 2 to level 3 is going to cost you a total of 60 experience. Then you have to do your mortal breakthrough. Then you go up here. So this is going to cost you 120 experience points. Do your hero breakthrough. 80 to 100 is going to cost you 180 experience. Breakthrough 110 to 130. So this is going to be 240 experience points. Is going to lead there. Okay, that's this may seem like a lot of experience points, but even if you're like, let's say for example you end up with, let's say you have intimacy 5 with someone, you're going to be rolling 5 to 10 to vent your karma. At most per session you're going to end up with about 5 to 50, plus you're going to end up with about 6 to 60 experience points just from karma. Averaging out, if we're averaging it about, let's say about 5 for example, you're going to end up with about 20, you're going to end up with about 30 XP. 30 XP a session, 30 XP a session with intimacy 5. Intimacy 4, you're going to go down to about 25 in XP a session. And yeah, so it's like lower intimacy characters are going to have like on average lower XP. And you're mostly going to end up with, probably at the beginning, you're going to end up with 3s and 4s. And this isn't also excluding the fact that, you know, things change. You're going to have situations where you get that, you know, necessary karma experience. So And dealing high, you're always going to be higher. So even with if you do roll well, it is possible for other people in the party to level up slower than others. I'm sort of okay with that, but I think everyone's going to be leveling up relatively consistent to each other. That's why I actually am going to have to put in that. But again, the idea is like, hey, I found a mystic fucking thing that's going to grant me a technique, or hey, I eat the magic bug and I get chi, or I do a thing and I get a thing. That's going to be a big factor of this as well. So this isn't like raw advancement isn't naturally the most powerful thing in the world. Everyone's going to get their power transformation about the same time. Everyone's going to get their shin transformation about the same time. Okay, because you have the natural stop gaps here in case people like start running away with it. I'm okay with that. Okay, so we do something like this. Maybe not the best, but it'll... So every level has an amount of experience points, exp required to advance to it. This is this raw amount, this amount of spiritual energy, spiritual power is gained primarily through processing karma, and training. When you hit an experience point, when you hit an EXP milestone, level 2, 20 XP for example, all further XP gained is reduced to 0. Starting from is reduced is nullified. All further experience gained is nullified. Starting back from 0. There's no rollover in this game. Starting back from 0. So, for example, let's say I have like 18 EXP and I gain, I'm like, oh wow, I gained 25 EXP, 25 EXP. So normally, what would occur? Actually, we'll my math. Gotta think about it as hard. You're going to end up with, say, 40 experience points normally. What's going to happen is all of that, you get your 20 XP, and then you just go back down to 0. There's no rollover. Starting back from 0 for the next level. Each level increases the Jia. Each level increases the Jia's chi. Chi flow. They don't fucking call it chi flow. They chi out. Let's see. Each level increases the Jia's chi flow, allowing them to manipulate their chi better and survive heavy hits. they also receive the option. They also receive the option of. They also receive one of one of two options. Increase, actually gain 5 technique points. Gain one attribute. Gain 1 attribute. Gain 1 attribute. Technique point. Is there anything directly available? This is one of those things where it's like really hard to like just find like, yes, this is just do this, just increase this, because there actually isn't many moving parts to the game. But that's kind of the point, because if you add too many moving parts to this, it's not going to work. Because technique points are really like a very valuable. Okay, cool. So, let's see. This, we do this. Every level, the amount of XP required to advance it, receive one of the following game technique points, attribute point, technique. To be precise about it, it would look like this. A character. Correctly, actually at level, so actually no, we need to level 3, 5, 3, 5, 7, and 9, 3, 7, 5, 7, and 9, the Gia will need to perform a breakthrough to successfully increase their level to 4, 6, 8, and 10 respectively. They will maintain their full EXP, and any further EXP gained is lost immediately. You don't get anything more once you hit your max. It's pretty much just full experience, you just don't do anything with it. This does mean, again, if you really want to, like, if somebody is lagging behind, like, somebody just rolls really poorly in, like, the level 4 range and just cannot get the necessary XP, but like, other people are, like, level 5, like, midway through level 5, you can actually delay everybody at level 5 for a while until that person catches up a little bit. I think that's fine, personally. They'll maintain their full XP, and any further XP gained is lost immediately. And actually, we're going to put a side note. I feel this is important. Side note, unequal XP, unequal XP distribution. There's a distinct chance that PCs will end up with different EXP values depending on rolls and karma gains. This is intentional. If intentional, promoting the fact that cultivation can sometimes spark ahead, can sometimes rush ahead, and other times lag. If a Gia Use breakthroughs to halt their progress for a time for others to catch up, for others to catch up. So yeah, it's kind of like here's an inadvertent way to, like, if you want to, if like somebody is like clearly like way far ahead, like make the game fun for people, of course. Like that's kind of priority. That's always been priority numero uno, is like make the game entertaining. And if like people are like, well, you know, it's kind of sucks that I have like zero ability to fucking do anything because I'm like level 4, but everyone else is level 5. Because like level 4 and level 5 is when you start seeing like the big changes in power. But here's what we're going. We need to do karma processing experience. A detailed more in depth in the relationships section. Detailed in more depth in the relationship chapter. Karma processing. Karma processing is the ability for the Jia. This is the most consistent way for a Jia to increase their power. And relation. This will increase their power and increase their power. But the Jia. Actually, karma processing. Actually, I will do karma processing, relationships, and level. But the Jia must always keep in mind that the relationships are built with people. Emotionally fragile individuals may or may not understand the Jia's current responsibilities. Every time a Jia increases in level, they must either reduce the relationship by one step, to a minimum of 0, severing the relationship, or strain one of their highest relationships, or have their current level in intimacy, their current level in relationships. Hello, Jesus Christ, hello phone. That's get the shit out of me. It's called entering Zen mode a little bit. Fun fact, everybody, we have visitors from the site from Edmonton, Canada, and Buford, Georgia. Buford. Hello, people from Buford. How y'all doing? Hope y'all enjoying the stream. Hello, 'tis a man of the land. Hello, Manly. How are you? If you wish. See, unfortunately, Manly, the phone gave you karma. No, I'm becoming a Redditor. See, unfortunately, I have written this game somewhat that you can play it as Reddit simulator and just accumulate karma. You shouldn't do that because karma will kill you, like on Reddit too. Remember, kids, if you accumulate too much karma, it'll fucking kill you. Hence why if you Still, thank you. And you, Notepad RPG Extraordinaire, I'm doing great. Two things to do this week, though, which I'm kind of excited about, is one, I have to go over Fabula Ultima, which is, I believe, Spanish? Which is someone's Spanish Ryutama hack, effectively, which apparently they throw a lot of shit into that game, so I'm very curious about it. Someone will need to be drafted to become a member of the Amazing 101, otherwise known as... Someone's going to have to be drafted to become anime. And, Manly, you're looking awfully anime tonight. Someone is also going to have to, unfortunately, be drafted to become a Dame of Astoria. Oh, Dios mío. Yeah, someone is going to have to be drafted to become a Dame of Astoria, otherwise known as a monster girl. Most likely it will be Ray. Ray will most likely be drafted to become a monster girl. Just to see if it can make a man, which is a distinct possibility that it cannot. That order will be Iroh. I don't know yet. There's many jokes to be had by turning someone in A&A into a woman. Tis funny in its own way, because I'm a terrible human being. Stop hunting monster boys. Get yourself a monster man. We're current level in relationship. Have the current level in relationships strained. Footnote. If reaching level 4, rank 4, 4 intense level reach 4, 2 rank 2 rank 2 relationships, rank 1/rank 3 relationship, or a ship, or a rank 4 relationship. Maybe strain. This is kind of the idea, like, the higher you get up, the higher power you end up with, it's the easier it is to, like, just strain relationships, and harder it is to kind of to connect with people. So it's like, if you are spreading yourself around a lot, you might have a lot of, like, little relationships that you can, like, I wouldn't say, like, use as ablative fucking gear, but, like, you can use them as a blade. You pretty much just vent them off anytime you level up. But it's still, like, a little bit fucked up. It's like, yeah, I care about, like, yeah, I kind of care about you. I don't really give a shit about you anymore. Like, I have grown up past you. That's not really a good thing either. That's an issue. You don't want to do that. Because it's kind of the idea, like, I'm even gonna write it. I think that's a good idea. So, quick idea while in my head, a Monster Girl Quest kind of game, but instead of being cute, sexy women in Prime, you play as her against like 30, 40 something monster women who know they're past their prime, try to gaslight you into choosing them instead of literal thousands of younger ones. See, that would be a hilarious visual novel, or again, like a Monster Girl Quest kind of game. Just like, yeah, like, no sexy times, no anything. It's just getting a little sad. Just a little miserable. Hello, Solid, how are you? I am just working on advancement, really. We hammered out how levels work, and now I'm kind of just going through the process. Making sure everything works. It's Italian? Okay, people keep saying it's Spanish. So I'm gonna probably call it French just to piss him off. Ah, yes, my favorite French game from the Swiss Alps. Alsace Lorraine. Let's see, you know how it goes. The Shia. See, if I really want to be annoying, I just call it Sicilian. The Shia, as they... No, those those lone wolves who are going it alone. They don't suffer at all from this they don't suffer at all from this consequence. Outside being completely alone and not having a proper way to vent karma. So it's like, yeah. Did I get the fonts right? Calibri, Carletta, and Serif, Sans Serif, Leto. Yeah, I mean, Serif and Sans Serif, those aren't really fonts. Visual. Because, like, I'll give you an example here. For example, Leto here is a sans serif. You can kind of see here. You don't actually see, like, the little, I don't really know what else to call them, but little blips after the end of everything. Like, up here, form is a serif. See the little things at the end of every single one of them? This effectively has, like, makes it sometimes a little bit easier to read, sometimes a little bit not easier to read. I am a big fan of serifs as headers and a big fan of sans serifs as body fonts. That's what makes Dames of Astoria very difficult to, like, to give you an idea. I'm going to open up Dames of Astoria just so you all kind of understand my fucking agony that I'm going to be going. Probably tomorrow night is when I'm going to do it. This is Dames of Astoria. Very cool. Dead Tree Studios. Very cool game. The entire fucking game is in this font. Like, it's some weird italic font. That's, yeah, and at first I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a fun thing for the lore section. No, it's everything, by the way. It is, oh, why is there so many rules for suffocation? Yeah, it's all this particular, like, serif font. I'm not a big fan of the font, I can tell you that much. Let's see. Some consequences outside being completely alone, not have a proper way to vent their karma. Training XP. Training experience. Training. No, we'll call it pumping iron. Training experience. There will come times when a Gia will need to perform raw training. No karma, no relationships, just the Gia. Just the Gia and the determination to better themselves. This training in this method is consistent, if a tad inefficient, due to the Gia already being relative. They will need to push themselves beyond their normal capabilities in relative seclusion until they see some minor training. Training is a time sink. Actually, training has the Gia 5. Why is there so much hate for Times New Roman? Times New Roman is very is kind of like a standardized font. I think that's the best way to think about it. Is that, like, it's very basic and very reliable. And unfortunately, reliable don't cut it these days. Like, do I have Times New Roman on? Yeah. Like, this is a very reliable font. But the problem is it makes things look very, how do I want to word this? Analytical. I think that would be the best way to kind of word it. It's not very, I wouldn't say it's not pleasant to read, but it's not very like, oh yeah, fun times. It's like, oh boy, time to read economic reports. Hell yeah. Like it that's kind of the issue with it. Very school, very academic. I use Times New Roman for almost every single one of my school papers. That was my go-to font for school papers. See, unfortunately, at my school, what we had to use for almost everything was fucking Archivo. Yeah, this is Archivo. Fun fact with Archivo. If you ever want to put Archivo in something, don't fucking do it or get a light version of it because it will break. I have no idea why. If you convert Archivo to a PDF, it will bold everything. They don't suffer alone. Let's see. Training has the Gia roll a 1d10. Roll a 1d10 and gain that much experience. EXP. It has a Gia roll 1d10 and gain that much EXP for an entire section of time. For an entire block of time. This can't these blocks of time, entire block of time. It may be a week, a few days, or even an entire month of just working out the kinks and abilities. Yeah. Kinks and abilities. If the Gia has a Gia can optimize their training routine. Let's see. You can optimize their training routine by performing a series by recruiting others or having the proper equipment for their needs. And then we're going to do having a supernatural ally assist, having another Gia participate. Others Gia participate. I'm receiving a phone call. I will be back in 5 seconds. Hee hee hoo hoo ha 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 hee. Fucking all right. Well, fun fact. Welcome to Flying International with Notepad on, where he loses his fucking mind. Let's see. Having a supernatural assistant, having another Gia participate, being in a supernatural training ground. What other things would be good? Okay, let me reiterate this. What would be the proper way for a Dragon Ball Z character to train? So we got a spiritual training ground. We've got Gia having another Gia participant. Spiritual training ground. Yeah, okay. That's kind of the idea of the spiritual training ground, is like, this is clearly like a special place for you to be. Like, this is a special area. That's kind of the idea. So it'd be like the hyperdense gravity field would be a quote unquote spiritual training ground. Supernatural assistant, so it's like, yeah, I'm training with Mr. Piccolo. Having another Gia, I'm gonna train with Vegeta. What's some other good ones? Actually, I know. Spiritual training ground. Let's see. We should say, having, there we go. So something like that. So training with Mr. Piccolo, training with Vegeta, being in the being in the time chamber, training with Beerus, and then it would be like the weighted gi. Have no fear, I literally am wearing the fucking Rock Lee, weights on myself, weights so I can train better, train faster. But it has to be something like clearly divine, or like something clearly like, this is some good shit. You need good shit to do this. So it's like, hey, yeah, actually I should say supernatural training artifact. There we go. So it's kind of like the idea of like, yeah, if you really want to do some training, you're going to be working with you're going to be working with the demon world a lot more, because they're going to be able to they're going to be able to give you, hey, this is a fucking, this is a demon who's like, yeah, you're a fucking, you're pretty fucking lame. Actually, like, don't worry, kid, I can train you. Yeah, let's do it. And it's like, yeah, hey, Bob, what do you do on the weekend? Oh, I have to train with a bunch of fucking goblins, to, Or, hey, I've been training with the royal, fucking Demon King, because he's apparently a fitness freak. Yeah, that's what I do in my off time. Like, fuck. We want to do many of these services can be rendered in the demon world. Price, of course. So 1d10 to get that much XP. Recruiting each additional feature grants a plus 1d10 to the amount of they would gain, but do stack. A Gia. Gia can gain EXP equal to their current level in training. Level 2 can gain 20 EXP. Their current level times 10. This, put it in brackets. In training, representing their raw ability to actually do things. Actually, they will never fully be able to cross the threshold without karma processing or in alternative method. We're going to talk about the alternative methods, which is going to be we're going to say which we're going to call them cultivated pills, and then celestial mutation pills. A very a fast, if somewhat hectic method of gaining power rapidly is consuming a pill. Actually, is consuming celestial medicine. Rapidly is consuming celestial medicine as provided by the emissary. Wow, as provided by celestial medicine. Consuming celestial medicine, referred to mostly as pills. These pills are full of EXP that are immediately added to the Gia's current amount. However, many of these pills have side effects. The good flawless ones are often only used on cultivated worlds by real cultivators. The off-brand, cheaper varieties. The off-brand cheaper varieties are found on uncultivated ones. When consumed, the EXP is given, and a side effect takes place. Some severe side effects. Some severe problems are things like chi blockers or technique blockers, which prevents the use of chi burning, which prevents the use of chi or techniques in the while the pill is suggested. Lesser issues involve odd habits, unnatural illnesses, or increased sensitivity in certain fields. Lest we forget the blinding pill incident. Which increased sensitivity to the elements. The worst of these pills are the weight on the soul, having a karma cost, top of having a karma cost, 80, or having an immediate karma cost. So it's kind of like the idea of like, you can also eat pills to get experience points, but the problem is these pills are going to have a problem with them. These are your fast, like, oh fuck. The hell, Oni, red and blue, yeah, you're getting the idea. So it's like, yes, I have eaten the pill to get 50 experience points. Aha, I'm invincible. Hey, why can't I feel any of my limbs? Oh, I'm paralyzed. Like, well, shit, how do we solve this conundrum now? One of our friends is currently fucking, paralyzed from the neck down. Like, alright, hey everybody, I ate this pill, I can no longer speak Chinese or whatever my language is, I can only speak French or some other unholy thing that makes this is annoying. Pills are supposed to be a little bit goofy and a little bit fun. It's the, okay, this is something kind of like a little bit ridiculous to have some fun with it. It also says like, hey, if you feel like the players are kind of lagging behind and they've kind of got a few like bad rolls on their XP, on their kind of their karma processing, give them a pill. Give them something funny, as a reward. Like, yeah, here, the demons are off. Yeah, sensu beans, it's a little bit like sensu beans. Like, use a pill to fix your problems. Unfortunately, you now have to, like, people don't actually see you as you. Or, hey, people think that, you let out you can't speak. Or, hey, you're now deaf, or something like that. It's like, yeah, you go blind for the day, for a week. Or, hey, you do this. And it's like, and the associated problems that go along with it. Sometimes they can be good, but most of the time they're just going to be annoying. Or they're going to be a problem you have to deal with now. Celestial meditation. The final main way to gain EXP is through celestial meditation. Celestial meditation. The emissary takes aside a Gia and meditates with them. The emissary takes aside his Gia and meditates with. Let's see. Process is slow and laborious. Having the Gia concentrate wholly on their internal chi. As the emissary once it beams information to your brain, it's concentrate wholly on their internal chi. Let's see. And having the emissary during this time will actually, emissary during this time will begin a process similar to the formation, running the Gia, running the Gia through a plethora of cultivators of other worlds and their technique and their abilities to increase the power, increase the experience, abilities to assist Gia's current state of affairs. This process is long and taxing on the emissary, meaning that They rarely wish to perform such a feat, but in desperate times they would. Times they will. If a Jia undergoes celestial mutation, they will gain EXP equal to the. They'll gain EXP equal to the. How do I want? They will gain XP equal to the closest ally by that. They will gain XP equal to the closest ally ahead of them, including any levels associated with it. In raw gameplay terms, this allows underperforming or lucky actually associated. So effectively what this means is, let's say I'm level 3. Let's say I'm level 4 with like 15 XP, but my friend is level 5 with like 5 XP, with like 3 EXP. I've just rolled hot shit. Like, actually, we'll make it. We'll say it's something like this. Like, clearly, I am falling pretty heavy behind kind of the level. Yeah, Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin get awakened by the dragon. So it's kind of like the idea of like, it's if you're kind of underperforming next to your allies, and mind you, this is possible simply due to they rolled really fucking well on their karma processing. You didn't. You've just been rolling shit on your karma processing. You might have a lot of karma, but you're just not really processing it very well, or maybe you're not gaining a lot of karma just because you're rolling really well or rolling really poorly. And if you're like really far behind, it's like, well, this is like, you're at a disadvantage. So what happens is, okay, you do the celestial meditation and you bump up to this. You would gain a level and 3 instead of it being the normal way. It'd be like, oh well, that's a huge leap. He went from, he gained 25 extra, 28 XP for fucking free effectively. But it's kind of the idea of like, you could do it once. You're not really supposed to be doing this too often. This is like in very rare circumstances this can occur. And that's just something you have to deal with in case something like this does occur. So instead of somebody being like vastly over leveled, because you can do someone from running away by saying, okay, you've hit a breakthrough point, but you don't know how to break through yet. You're trying to find a way to break through, but you don't know how. Cool. And you're kind of stuck at that level until you break through. All right. You can also stop somebody, you can also bring someone back if they're lagging behind severely. Where it's like, yeah, you are way far behind. I need to drag you up a little bit. It's going to be through celestial meditation. That's kind of the way of doing it. Like, is it like a fair and super cool way of doing things? No, it's a very gamey way of doing it, but it's also kind of like, this is a kind of a mandatory thing in case something like that does occur. Will it? I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a rare thing. Closest ally. Footnote. For example, I am level 4 with 30 XP, and my closest ally is level 5 with 5 EX. I would after celestial meditation, I would be level 5 E. This isn't an excuse for you to like, oh, I'm just going to lag behind on purpose. No, the GM will be able to know you're lagging behind on purpose. This is for very unlucky. I should also I should put a side note, pills and meditation. skills and meditation. Both of these methods are not primary ways XP, but instead methods to pump EXP up on certain characters who suffering from bad luck or raw need, or suffering from bad luck. Celestial pills should be as a fun side adventure or problem for the characters to deal with. For a lighthearted session, which karma is not gained actively. While celestial meditation should only be used when a character severely behind the others, often due to poor rolls or inability to process karma. Hey, you rolled shit. I'm not going to punish you poorly. That's kind of a... It is possible. I do kind of mention up here, like, yes, it is possible to have very unequal XP distribution. You can do that. This is how you mitigate. Hey, I want to have a lighter, funnier session that's maybe, not as serious, but I still want to give everybody like a decent chunk of EXP or something. Then give them a pill. Hey, I want my players to have some fun abilities, or I want to make sure that this character is kind of brought up to speed because he's doing really well. He's doing everything he needs to do. He's just rolling like shit. Which again is a very possible thing. If you roll all fucking ones on your intimacy 4 thing, you're going to process 4 karma out of the 40 you need. That's kind of like that could be very frustrating to people who just don't roll very well and can't XP properly. This is what you probably slap an image right there to kind of give people like, yeah, this is so. Next we need to do breakthroughs. Who's pinging me? Better have a good reason for pinging me. God damn. Everyone's concerned about ethical. From what I've gathered about ethical is that he works at a very hectic job. I'm not too worried about him simply because from what I've been able to gather about him, he is a person who works a very odd job. Because he works a very odd job, he moves around a lot. And because he moves around a lot, he's the kind of person who has to go back and forth on a lot of different things. So he's probably in between. That's... is the nature of the show. We want here, we want here, we want this here. We want to put heading to, and we want to talk about breakthrough. 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 Perhaps one the most hectic when a cultivator When a cultivator reaches a certain point in their training, they will need to perform through. They'll need to perform breakthrough. This has them go on an adventure, to find an object, consume a bug, or some variety of tool to help them unlock their potential further. Unlock their potential further unlock their potential further. Should they succeed, they will experience the next level of power. They'll experience the next level of power. Until they need to do it again. The Gia of an uncultivated world need to do the same. But unlike their cultivated brothers, unlike their cultivator kin, they will need to perform. They will need to perform these breakthroughs to allow them to unlock more of their personal power. To combat the rising threat. Combat the rising threat of the devil. Breakthroughs can be any number of challenges, problems, or challenges, special training, eating special food, or outright finding the key to unlock their next step of power. At level, when a Gia reaches level 3, level 3, 5, 7, and 9, they will need to perform a breakthrough to advance to 4, 6, 8, 10. Here to make sure, mortal breakthrough. The mortal breakthrough. We do this. The first major breakthrough has the Gia understand that they are no longer fully human. This is an arduous mental or physical task that forces the Gia not to come to terms with their new power or suffer the consequences. After completing this major goal, they have fully graduated from being just human, from being enhanced to fully cultivating. Hero breakthrough. The second important breakthrough occurs when the Gia has a tipping point in their power, no longer fully constrained by mortal bounds. They are expected to adopt a certain heroic persona. They will begin to embody they'll begin to embody a particular aspect of heroism, and righteousness. Hello, phone. What do you need? Do you want to tell me something else? Tell me something. Oh, you want to send me an Instagram? Let's see. Particular aspect of heroic and right. Do you have royalty in your game? Can't have anything to do with cultivation outright. No, not really. There's technically demon royalty, but nothing like super royalty. Most of the time when it comes to like cultivation fantasy, fun fact about it, I've said it multiple times, shit's bullshit. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do in cultivation fantasy. Nothing is stopping you outside of having to goddamn cultivate. If you want to make Slavic cultivation and make everybody just have to become the final Gopnik, you totally can. Nothing is stopping you. It's great. It's me, the final Gopnik, to go beyond my final power level. Oh no! Like Vegeta, except he just gets more drip. My favorite Vegeta. They will begin to embody a particular aspect of heroism, righteousness. The task they will need to perform will be exceedingly will be impressive and demanding. Most importantly, it must be well known. Must become hero. A savior break. The third hurdle. The third breakthrough. Third breakthrough is personal to the G. These symbolize a turning point. There are they. Let's see. These symbolize the turning point of Gia's perception of themselves as the world around them. Race or humanity or their cultivated instincts. To cross this hurdle. The Gia. Let's see. Across this hurdle, Gia will need to undergo a task to save or destroy something personal. Something personal to them. A factor that binds them to this world and invigorates their desire to protect the world they're fighting for. Divine. The final breakthrough. Has the Gia reach the final precipice. Power. Everything has the Gia reached the final precipice. Doing all they can. All they can be is a difficult notion. Well, they can be as difficult notion for many. But to complete this final breakthrough, the Gia will need to do it. The task assigned to them is directly from the celestial emissary, and proceed behind them. The bureaucracy itself. Let's see. The task assigned to them is directly from the celestial emissary and the bureaucracy itself. Let's see. After completing every breakthrough, the Gia has reached the end of their journey. They are a true cultivator. Not fully bound by their own world any longer. They are true in their journey. They are a true cultivator. At this stage, the only real threat in front of them is the devil themselves, leading to a final climactic showdown. Showdown with the villain themselves, with the villainous force themselves. Now, most important thing is to have fun. Completing them is curious. Save your breakthrough. Yeah, breakthroughs, and final one, which is very important. Get so done. Okay, so perfect. Actually, one page, and then we can do final note we need to do, which is the final steps to heaven. What if they win? The Gia triumph over the devil, banishing them back to their own world to face judgment. The world is saved. The world is saved, and the eclipse ends. And the eclipse of world is saved, and the eclipse ends. But what about the Gia? Having achieved this level of power is difficult to control. Being a superhuman among regular individuals will cause a distinct imbalance. Will cause a distinct imbalance of the world and the celestial bureaucracy. Bureaucracy simply cannot afford have have that hap have that happen. Have that happen. As that's the case, as that's the perfect brewing pot of a devil. The Gia are given a final choice at the end of their journey by the emissary. They may choose to stay in their uncultivated world, uncultivated world, losing their powers, but maintaining a fragment of their strength and abilities. Losing their powers, but maintaining a fragment of their strength and abilities. Or go with them. Those that choose to stay are will remember their time as a Gia, but will rejoin society as a regular person as the world gradually readjusts to forget about the Gia exploits and the devil's influence. They will remember and be among their friends, family, and those they care about. Those who choose to go with the emissary will join the ranks of the celestial bureaucracy. Bureaucracy training further to go beyond their current state being. To become a true cultivator, and can we get much higher? So high. Those who choose to go with the emissary will join the ranks of the celestial bureaucracy, training further to be. True Shanjia. This pro however this offer does come with one downside. Those who remain on the world, their allies, their relationships with mortals and demons will gradually fade into non-existence. They will be as if they never existed, only remembered by their fellow Gia who stood by their side. They may return on duties to the You may return on duties from the Celestial Bureaucracy. You may return on duties from the Celestial Bureaucracy, but they will never fully rejoin their home society. Power always comes at a cost. Delicate balance must always. So kind of the idea of like, if you do hit the final one, you do beat the big bad, congratulations. You got to make kind of a shitty decision. So it's like, yeah, do you decide to join Celestial Bureaucracy, but everyone kind of forgets you. All these relationships you've cultivated over the time, that your friends, your family, they'll forget you. You will get so powerful that you'll go beyond, and you'll pretty much join heaven as a divine fucking Superman. That's the point. That's kind of like the final step of more Jean-Chia. Or you can go back and be a regular person, enhanced a little bit, but not like super enhanced. You're still fairly human. And it's kind of one of those things like, everyone will gradually forget what happened. Everyone will forget what the devil's influence was. Everyone will forget, yeah, you might have been on TV and shit, but no one will actually remember you, and slowly and steadily you'll fade into non-existence. You'll still be there, you'll still be among your friends and family, and the relationships you cultivated will still be present, but it's like, yeah, of course, we always knew each other. Or, of course, yes, we were always friends, kind of thing. The world readjusts itself to fix it, because you are unnatural. That's kind of one of the big things. You are very unnatural. And I don't really know what would happen here, like with players. I think a lot of players might actually say, no, I want to stay on Earth because you spend so much time with everybody that it'd be like, yeah, it's kind of a waste to like give it all up. But I think there would be some players who'd be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go further. Fuck it. Like it's okay if I leave, kind of thing. I've done good. I need to protect more worlds or what. Yeah, that's fine. I think it would be a good mix of both, and I think both are kind of valid options for an end. I mean, it's like, well, that's kind of a shitty ending. It's not really, because that's kind of the idea of like, hey man, the Celestial Bureaucracy is kind of making that choice for you. So it's like, well, the balance. What do you? You were given balance out of desperation. Now they're like, well, we gotta take back our number. It's an Eclipse judgment. Eclipse judgment. When is our end? Your end is right here. And it's like, how long can you go? I've tied it all together because I'm a genius. Or a fucking idiot. I don't know yet. Okay. That is, my friends, a vast majority of the actual game done. Next, we get to do GM section. Yeah, GM. Going to call the as the divine master. That end up. As the divine master, you have the responsibility of guiding the Gia. Guiding the Gia on their adventure, on their journey. Guiding the Gia on their journey and the problems that are spawned from it. They're spawned from it. Guiding the Gia on their journey, the problems that spawn. Hey. Generally speaking, the Gia are naturally powerful individuals. individual are naturally powerful individuals who are able to bend the nature of the world to their whims, forcing you to be a little crafty, forcing you to be a little crafty. Here are some basic tools to assist in creating valid threats to GM. Not the G, the G. Yeah. So, we need to talk about minions. Many devils employ minions as fodder, as fodder troops to further their own ends. Sometimes a minion is little more than just amalgamation of a foul demonic influence. Each minion they has three main features associated with them: minion rating, a minion combat score, and a minion attack. Minion rating is how dangerous the minion actually is. Most of the time, these will be how dangerous the minion actually is. A minion rating ranges from 1 to 10, with 1 being useless fodder, useless cannon fodder, more valuable as ammunition than actual fighting forces. And with 110, and 10 being a valid soldier on the front line, but who has yet to distinguish themselves. Minion rating is primarily execution action, as well as being a flat value adds to all damage. Minion combat score is a flat percentage ranging from 20 to 80, representing the minion's ability to injure the Xia. Damage. This is also a minion. Minions will always act last. At last. And blood percentage ranging from ranging ability to injure or ability to injure, dodge, or dodge the Gia. The Gia. Finally, a minion attack is either melee or range variety. Finally, a minion attack is either a melee or range variety, representing the type of weapon the minion possesses. The minion possesses. Often, shock troops will be designed to swarm and hinder the GM, while rangers will pick apart the weak, pick apart the back line of nation. So we're just gonna say, like, here's how the enemies work, kind of thing. Like, yep. And we're going to make a insert table. What's a good enemy type, everybody? We're gonna make Clayman. An example. Clayman. Claymen are crafted entities. Are crafted monsters in the facade of a human, often looking like they are melting or poorly stitched together, or poorly held together. Or poorly held together. There are two main types of Clayman. Clayman soldier is going to have a minion MR. Going to have a minion rating of 3. Going to have a combat score of 40. He is going to be melee. Clayman, and then Clayman. Minions will always like asking the initiative space, and if damaged, they will immediately crumble under the G. Often there are number of Gia 3 number of Gia on the field, but weaker varieties tend to swarm more, while stronger tend to be more individual. Because you gotta remember, like, one AoE attack and these guys are like dead. All of them can just die immediately. Like, yep, sorry, all your friends are dead. Certain minions may have may have a gimmick, which grant them a special power or property. For property, the DM is free to determine. Nothing should instantly kill or hinder a Gia. Nothing should instantly kill or damage a Gia. Nothing should kill or damage a Gia without a roll. And so we have gimmick, claim in a craft. Actually, every defeated clayman will rebuild itself during the recovery phase. If they were not destroyed by water, fire, or it would be water filed or earth damage. So it's like, oh no, we need to defeat these guys. How do we defeat the Clayman? Well, we need to get some good things in. So there are too many types of Claymen. Clayman soldiers. Gimmiku. This is kind of their thing. This is what they do. Claymen are pretty much just putties, because putties will still forever be my favorite Power Ranger. Don't at me. Okay, we're making good time. Here we need to bring in Lieutenant. Spelling it horrifically. Okay, so a lieutenant is an enhanced individual granted power by the devil. These individuals are strong, powerful, and malicious, with a goal to stop the Gia in their tracks, or complete a particular goal. Each lieutenant is built similarly to Gia. So each lieutenant is built similarly to a Gia, except they are. So each is built similarly to a Gia, except they are granted 150 points. 150 technique point. They are granted actually this is kind of a cop-out. Number of Gia times 50. 50 technique points to build their particular abilities. Build their particular techniques up. Techniques and abilities. They will roll the dice as normal. They will roll the dice as normal and be a genuine threat to the underprepared Gia. However, rarely does the devil want the lieutenant succeed fully. The critical flaw in their design is that their techniques can be sealed. If a Shia manages to seal a technique, they are unable to properly use it. They are unable to use it for the remainder of the battle. Only through performing a desealing, seal breaking action 7Z, which replaces the seal breaking, sealing action for them. Will they be able to store it? Lieutenants cannot also transform, forcing them to remain static as the Jia adapt to the situation. So pretty much they actually let's see. Lieutenants cannot also transform, forcing them to remain static as they adapt to the situation. Each lieutenant, I'm just misspelling lieutenant constantly at this point. Each lieutenant is granted a series. I cannot. Because she adapts to the situation. How do I want to word this? So yeah, they pretty much are just like characters, except they just grow in power gradually. That's their kind of, I wouldn't say gimmick. Actually fleeing surrender. Let's see. Well, all their millennials will collapse, either fleeing or being completely. Lieutenants are pretty much just stronger Jia, but that's also fine. Because what I can do, bring up the level chart where total level. Do this, your chi amount is going to be a little bit higher than everyone else's. Because again, there's only one of them, so kind of arbitrary of how I'm increasing, but there's a very distinctive reason for increasing it the way that I am. Average level. They don't have to worry about it. All they run chi amount. They're going to they actually number of minions. They're just going to bring as many minions as they feel like. Wow, wowsy zowies. Hey, people. Chi amount and oh yeah, there are 150 might seem like a lot of fucking aura, but by the way, you're gonna be doing a ton of damage at that kind of point of the game. You're gonna be chances you're gonna be like, I'm gonna attack 7 times and do 8 gorillion damage. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. That's cool. Like, actually, I actually forgot that transformation. That's what I put this in here. You know, that would be kind of important in the game about transformations, having the transformations. I don't know about you guys, but maybe that's just my my gamer instinct kicking in. My gamer instincts kind of going a little bit haywire, you know. So we've got good there. We slap an image right there. Good go. Here. lieutenants, and the final two, which were monsters. A monster we're gonna make, which is a monster is a force of nature. The devil has unleashed upon the area. These are supernatural. These are supernatural threats that cause a significant amount of problems for the Gia and the result and everybody around them. Monsters need to be a monster. Monsters are a. How do I want to? Monsters are a large scale threat that require the Gia to perform to find their critical weakness and destroy the monster before they can do any significant damage. Monsters are forces of nature, often being controlled by a lieutenant. Often being controlled by a lieutenant of some variety. Each monster is. How do I want it? Monster encounter. Actually, I should. Monster encounters. Controlled by a lieutenant of some variety. Monster encounters are less a direct battle, and more. As when the monster has been weakened. Well, let's see. A monster has been weakened. They've been successfully fought and destroyed. Similar to a lieutenant, however, all tech. Purchase their abilities, and do not pay it. However, they receive 200 technique points to purchase abilities. Actually, however, they receive a number of Yeah, times 75. They get a lot of points. Technique points to successful. To spend among technique. Expend among techniques. However, however, however. Let's see. However, should their handler be defeated or weakness oh, or weakness exploited. It's exploited. They will have two designated. They will have a designated technique. They will have a designated technique that will be permanently sealed in combat. So the idea is that a lieutenant's going to be operating almost similar to how you operate. They are pretty much just you. They, except they can't transform or anything. Monsters are a lot bigger and they have a lot more points to spend, and they are usually a force of fucking nature and have some other gimmicks associated with them. However, if you do manage to defeat their handler, like, hey, we found their handler, we can defeat them, or hey, we found your weakness, they're going to have techniques that are going to be explicitly kind of taken off. They get significantly weaker should they actually be, taken out. Easy. Permanently combat. Actually, a monster should be a set piece battle. Causing the Gia to think on their feet. Gia to think on their feet to deal with a major threat. Deal with a major threat in front of them. They're going to be operating pretty similar to how the lieutenants are going to be operating, except they just get points to work with, but you have the sense that cause a large amount of problems for the Gia, do significant damage, so yeah, lieutenants. And our final one we need to actually talk about is the devil. The devil. The devil. The devil. The ultimate threat is more similar to the Gia, than they'd like to admit. The devil is a level 10 Gia. And Gia is a level 10 Gia. And is granted the number of special techniques. Special techniques by the DM. These special techniques change the nature of the fight. Change the nature of the each devil is unique and should be felt throughout the entire should be felt throughout the entire campaign. Should be felt throughout the entire campaign, and the entire journey. The devil is able to transform into a strong into their power form, and finally their evil demigod form, forcing the Jia to match them forcing the Jia to match them in battle or suffer ends. Yeah, so it's kind of like the devil is pretty much just going to be a character like you, except that they have the additional benefit of pretty much being stupidly powerful whenever the fuck they feel like. Whoever's we're going to up their chi amount. We're going to do their aura, so they're going to do a devil type. We're going to find Rose. Chi amount, they're going to 75 plus con 75 plus con plus soul. They're going to have 150 evil aura, and they're going to have techniques, and they're going to have 2 points to spread among them. Evil wizard, they're going to have wizard. Evil wizard is going to have an insanely high amount of chi. Lesser amount. Highest lieutenant is 64. We're going to have 70 chi. You're going to have a high amount of chi, but you're going to have a lot smaller aura to deal with. 200. You're going to have 250. It's going to be missed, and it's 250 techniques, but put this here. Primary type. Weapon. They're gonna have weapon arts. They're gonna have weapon arts and martial. You're going to have exclusively mystic arts. Let's see. Conquering King, evil wizard, devilish rogue. You're going to have about 75 plus 60 plus con plus soul. They're going to have decent size evil aura. They're going to have 200, and they're going to be primarily weapon arts. Probably going to be weapon arts. I know you're going to be dealing with martial art. You don't have that much. Yeah, you don't have a little bit more techniques. Actually, you have. Let's do 200. Yeah. See, with 5G, we'll do 4G. We'll do 4G average. We want you to have about that. We're gonna do. we reduce, so if we say this is going to be divided by, we'll say it's divided by do like that, but we'll we'll do power. We'll do power form. Power form is going to add, you know, a plus 30 evil aura. Demigod, which is a devil. Pseudo god, which is another 80 in total. Special power is going to be 3. You don't want them to hit pseudo god. Devilish rogue. Devilish rouge. We'll do side note, a side note, and then we'll do an example. Elysian Devil King. Elysian is a cultivator, is a former cultivator, and it's a former cultivator using the power of an evil, using the power of devil to conquer a new world, for his ambitions. And he has a chi of generate. That's real fast to it. That's well, no, we'll just use it. We'll do power special. It's power special. King's Wrath. Make him a quick like 30. Actually, no, we'll give him a bit. How about that? So he's, yeah, that's a 10, 24, a 36 point special. Yeah, like, yeah, fuck, yeah, it's like, oh, he's terrifying. We want to do, enemy at, demigod, evil demigod. In the same space as this is Lesion. Take 1d10. Take 2d10. 2d10 damage. Let's see. Take 2d10 damage. During the. So it's kind of like, oh fuck. And then we do evil pseudo god. Actually, like if Li Shin breaks, break the Jia's armor, breaks his Jia's armor, deal 3d10 damage to Chi immediately. So it's like, yeah, he breaks your armor, he's gonna do 3d10 damage to you just outright. So it's like, oh, cool, I'm fucked. Like, I'm taking a shit ton of damage, and I'm in danger. Yeah, that's kind of like how Li Shin would act. Like, this is, be aggressive and be stupid. Like, you don't need to follow any, you don't really follow, guys. That's the entire point. It's supposed to be kind of like a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a gimmick fight, but like, there's no real rule here. Just like, yeah, just add a bunch of shit. Actually, what I should do is, add a table. Side note, winging it. Perhaps this is, let's see, perhaps this is the most professional note, but devils do require a bit of winging it. Regarding their powers and abilities. These are individuals who have skipped ahead and forsaken art to be evil as possible. They don't need to play by the rules necessarily, and they should hurt. They should hurt. However, they are alone. They are alone and cocky. They exploit their weaknesses. Punish the devil. Punish the devil appropriately. Yes, using the power of fucking friendship is a valid option in this. They actually, oh, there we go. Pretty much the idea is like what the devil is trying to do is he's trying to become an evil god. So him going from power to his evil demigod form is like he's not quite god tier yet. Evil pseudo god is like, oh hey, you're pretty much mimicking your final, your ultimate final form, but not quite there yet. But you're clearly at like the final stage. Like, we gotta stop you fucking now. Which does remind me, we want to do column right. Number of actions. Of 3, 5, and 7. Really fucking scary, and their kind of their final form is like, oh no, I've reached my final form. Yeah, to give you an idea, this is like Ultra Instinct bullshit. Like, you haven't quite reached your final power tier yet, but it's like you're very clearly like, it's happening and we're not going to win. Like, monsters, lieutenants. Okay, we do the enemy series. We do transformations. We need to add this section here, which is how do we want to training. On the job training. A Gia is not expected to be expected to have and not be able to fully express them. Not be able to fully express themselves properly. However, let's see. Not be able to fully express themselves properly. To actually, fuck. Not expect to have the full repertoire ability skills immediately, and by the end of their journey, naturally developing. Like most things, being a Gia is about learning. Being a Gia is about learning. Being a Gia is about learning. No matter it doesn't learning. It doesn't matter if they are a millennia old. They are a millennia old cultivator or a fresh Zia yeah. We're trying to feed the so during the journey the Gia may find teachers manuals or other sources of power and other sources of and let's see, knowledge and wisdom to share with Gia. You may find teachers and manuals and other sources of knowledge to glean information and not glean information from. When a Gia takes time to internalize the message. Let's see. They'll develop new techniques, mystic art, miracles, enlightenment. Many. Let's see. The Gia does not need to pay a technique point cost for these learned abilities, as they learned abilities, but they can spend their own technique points on changing, improving, or editing the moves they acquired. On improving or editing the moves they have acquired. Knocks without full. These newly acquired learn techniques. These newly acquired learn. Often these sources of power cannot be used, cannot be called upon more than a few times to get information. Each of the Gia, let's see, understand their few times to understand their information. Individual teachers may only take on a single student. Manuals may burn after reading, and even the occasional mystic scroll will impart the wisdom. Impart the wisdom of the will impart the mystic knowledge of the technique to a single reader. Acquiring these newly found techniques should be a difficult experience. Experience with it. Or to manipulate these abilities to power their far more rewarding than attempting to reinvent. Kind of the idea is you're going to be able to get these abilities kind of naturally, like by doing an adventure or something like that. You will be able to get a tech. You'll be able to get something out of it. It's kind of a little bit of a wonky thing, but it's like, oh hey, you found a super ancient manual of Superman powers, and now you can do X, Y, and Z. It's like a 30 cost, it's like, oh, here's a 30 cost stance that you've got effectively for free, but only you can use it. You're the only one. Somebody else can try to develop it, but it's going to cost them 30 technique points that they don't have. So it's like, okay, but they're the only ones who have the legendary Death God Fist that if they burn 5 Zen points, they do 8 Gorillion damage. You have the super cool technique, they have the super cool technique, and it's like, okay, we've developed new things. This is also a way for people to catch up or, kind of neglect. This allows for certain people to actually catch up inadvertently as well. That are kind of falling behind or their initial techniques are very situational. Which is like, yeah, here, you've learned a new technique. That's a raw, awesome combat ability that fits your character. Or hey, you've learned the ability to do a thing. This is neat. This is cool. Learn this. You know, because you've internalized this, you've done it. Can you teach other people it? No. You ain't good enough for that. You get the idea behind it, but you don't really, you can't really teach others. I should have that. Side note, teaching others. Normally techniques cannot be taught to others easily. Cannot be taught to others easily, as they are bound to the Gia's soul, and they are on a time limit. That's pretty strict time limit. Should the let's see. Normally, techniques cannot be teaching others. Techniques cannot be taught. To the others. Yeah. Not be taught to the other. Yeah, due to the nature of their cultivation. Simply put, these are immortal techniques. These are immortal techniques that require years to fully master. That the soul has internalized. Teaching someone these skills may take years, not decades, to properly instruct them on, which is to in a very gameplay oriented way of saying it. It's so you can't game the system and like teach everybody like, oh, I'm going to teach everyone my super cool healing technique so no one fucking dies, or everybody has free healing, but everyone just starts sharing fucking techniques among each other. Like, yeah, I don't want that. That is not how the game is supposed to be. Well, I got invested in all these ones. Now you've like quadrupled the amount of techniques. I like that. Slapping him in there, which means transformations. Okay, final thing. Gia's transformations. And allows them to shift the tide of battle in their favor. Each transformation being more dramatic than last. When a Gia transforms, their armor changes in a notable way, allowing when a Gia will unlock their powerful. Let's see. They will unlock their power form at level 4 with their or while their final Shin transformation is at level 6. increase their karma by the designated amount, and then now we get to go into like a very strange little like off kilter things which you need to discuss. Actions form karma game. Transformation actions transform karma gain, and then we actually do a bonus. Of anything. So if we do something, like that, like you transform, you're gonna get a shit ton of health. But the only problem being, like, yeah, you're transforming now, and you get actually number of actions available. Actions available 1, 2, 3, 5. Karma gain. Yeah, this is kind of the lethal thing. It's like, yeah, you're gonna gain some karma. This could be bad for you if you're not really prepared for it. So if Gia's armor is broken, then it is repaired when it is prepared when transforming. However, if Gia ever reduces their transformation down a step, then they will reduce their total armor points by that amount. Well, for example, going from power to standard incurs a negative 30 base. This would be 60, 70, 80, 105 for your transformation. We can pull it. Let's see. For example, going from power to standard incurs negative 20 incurs a negative 20 armor point a pet. Pretty we'll reduce an armor point. This can never damage chi, or damage G as chi, but armor break still applies. this does technically mean what you can do is you can transform up, then heal up, and then when you get reduced down, you won't be broken anymore. That is something you can do. It's incredibly weird and inefficient, but you can do it. Let's see. Should Asia be unable? I want to work. No, I don't think there really is anything. This is kind of a pretty. This is a pretty simple thing to. This is a pretty simple thing to actually do. Is it's like, yeah, you get pretty much more. You unlock more if your armor is broken. Your ability. The actually no, we're good. We're good. We apply a picture down there. We apply some pictures over across here. We do some basic ideas here. We kind of understand what's going on here. Evil aura is pretty much your armor here. Okay. This pretty much means executions can't be done on minion value 8, 9, 10, but that's kind of appropriate because that's not really supposed to be that. Okay. Seeing this in motion would obviously be best, but generally speaking, I believe we are done. I'll probably have to do a final pass, and obviously I have to go in there with novel AI a little bit and add some artwork and stuff, but Eclipse Judgment is done. This was very long. Oh goodness gracious. Yeah, and this is we've wrapped up. Is this a flawless game? No, I don't believe. It's not like, oh well, I'm rushing to finish it or whatever. I am rushing to finish it. But generally speaking, I think the major thing with this is that this is a game that needs to be seen in motion. And once it kind of sees a little bit of play, like, okay, you can kind of see where the kinks are. You can kind of see like what's going on and what's not going on. I would say the two things that I'm most concerned about is players abusing powers and the general. I want to word. I would say the enemies could probably do a lot more work, but I genuinely don't know what else. They're very simple. I didn't want them to be very complicated. That's not really the point. Them to be like super complicated or what. That's not really the point at all. The issue with this game is that there is a lot that you need to rely on the GM to do. The GM's got to give you your special techniques. The GM's kind of got to approve of these certain things. There's a lot of things on the GM that they need to kind of think about with this one. A lot more than I think I would normally be okay doing. But it kind of boils down to just the nature of the genre. It's just like, just because this is cultivation bullshit, you have all the associated problems of it being cultivation, of it being powerful, of characters being so astronomically strong. Like, yeah, it's generally speaking, the basic dice system I think is going to work just fine. 100, we'll try to hit over. It's just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna swap my die value. Cool, I rolled a 31. Oh, well, I'm going to now increase my attribute of 3 to a 61. It's things like that. He wanted like a thing that was like I just couldn't fit it in anywhere of like, oh, well, the stronger you get, the less karma you generate. And it's like, I have no fucking idea where to put this in because I just genuinely don't know how. Like, I just don't know where to fucking do this. And generally speaking, I think I did everything I could. Obviously, I'm going to send it to the guy and be like, hey, take a look at it, make sure everything's okay. Like, everything should be all right. If you'd like any changes, if you'd like any edits, tell me. I'll fix them, obviously, because, of course, why not? Why wouldn't I? And such. But yeah, we're done with the clip. Good job, everybody. Again, I would say enemies are there's a lot of GM things here. It works, but it's very yeah. Good night. It's 11 o'clock for me. I need to make dinner because I have not had dinner because I'm very hungry. So I'm gonna call it there for tonight. We did it, everybody. Good job, team. How's this gonna work is I will send it to the guy. Be like, hey, here's kind of the basic link. Make sure to look over it. Make sure to double check everything. If there's any noticeable flaws, tell me. I can fix them right away. That's super easy. I'll probably end up sending it to my editor, wink, who can take a look over things. Who it's a lot easier for sometimes other people to look over and be like, you misspelled something, or you just a lot easier for that sometimes to do. But yeah, we did it. Good job, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Friday will be me going over the spooky games, and if we don't get any more spooky games, what'll happen is I'll go over the spooky games, and then immediately we'll start playing their game. I have a few ideas of what. I have a few meme ideas. I have a few serious ones. It kind of depends on what. That does mean Saturday we will be going over Dames of Astoria and Fabula Ultima. Kind of like my final one. There's another game I need to go over as well. I can't remember the exact name, but I have it on my itch. And next week is going to be... There's going to be nothing next week, Monday. Maybe. I don't know yet. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on technically 2 videos, but 1 video won't take me terribly long. But thank you all for watching. Godspeed, good luck. Hope you all have a wonderful rest. I am going to make food because I am very hungry. Alright, Godspeed, good luck. Ugh.